Hey everyone, it's Sarah and today I am back with part 2 of my fall transition fragrance video. So I've got 12 more transition fragrances that I think are amazing for getting you from summer into fall. They're still, especially where I'm at, I'm in the southeast, it's still pretty hot here in the days. It's downright chilly in the mornings and in the evenings when the sun goes down, but during the day we're still getting up into the high 70s, low 80s. So for me, these fragrances are just perfect. And I've been craving my fall. I really didn't get into the mood for summer fragrances at all this year. This happened to me year before last too, where I just never really wanted to get into my spring summer fragrances. But anyways, I've got 12 fragrances here. I'm gonna jump right in. So the first one, I haven't worn this one for a few months because this one is a little, I don't know, I think it's a little too much for high heat, and I'm super excited to pull this one back out and start giving it love again. This is my Pascal Morabito Sultan Noir. This was one of my favorite finds of 2022. This is very, very similar to the original formulation of Lancôme Poème. So this is a beautiful, sweet, perfumey, 90s style floral. This smells so much more expensive than it actually is. I've had so many of you pick this one up after hearing me talk about it and come back in my comments and say, I am so glad you talked about that perfume. I picked it up. It's amazing. I love it. So many people have gotten this and love it so much. And I am so glad because I think this is such a slept on hidden gem. It smells so much more expensive than the price than what it costs. This is like somewhere between $23 and $26 or something. It's really inexpensive. And I absolutely love it. And if you love Lancôme Poème, you would definitely love this. I would say this one's maybe a little bit sweeter and a little bit more wearable than Poème. It's definitely way better than the reformulated version of Poème. I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a perfect, cozy, warm, syrupy smelling floral to take you from the heat of the summer into the beginning of fall. Now that it is starting to cool down, this will live out on my hutch because I will want to wear this a lot. I adore this fragrance. So anyways, that is the first one. That is Pascal Morabito Sultan Noir. Next we have a Dreamhouse Ikiryo fragrance. This came out in, my gosh, I can't, like my brain doesn't compute time very well, but I want to say this came out in late spring, early summer. And I've just been waiting for cooler weather to pull this one out again. This is Dreamhouse Ikiryo, Everywhen, and then again. And this fragrance, oh my gosh. This can be worn any time of year, but gosh, do I love this perfume. I cannot wait. Now that it's fall and it's starting to cool off, this is just gonna be a perfect transition fragrance for me. This one leans a little bit masculine, but it's got enough sweetness. I don't know, it's got enough sweetness and warmth to it that it doesn't pull super masculine on my skin. It doesn't smell like a traditional, and that's really my problem with masculine fragrances on me, is that I don't want to smell like a traditional men's fragrance. You know, I don't want to smell like Dior Sauvage. I don't want to smell like, you know, like Creed Aventus. I don't want to smell like a traditional, very popular men's fragrance. So I don't mind if a fragrance pulls kind of masculine as long as it doesn't smell traditional or like anything I've smelled before. And that's how this one is. This has sat and macerated now, and it's gotten so much better over the months. I mean, it was beautiful when I first got it, but it's gotten even, I mean, it's just like, wow, phenomenal. Again, it's warm, kind of sweet. It leans very slightly masculine, but not so masculine that I wouldn't want to wear it. It's just phenomenal. This one was one of those that took me really by surprise. When I first got it, I was like, oh, I think this one might end up being a little too masculine for me. But when I wore it, when I gave it a good wear test after I'd first gotten it, I fell in love, like hard. this is a hidden gem within like that for the house. To me, this one, I don't know, I think a lot of people would really love this one. If you love a warm, cozy fragrance, golly, this is it. So anyways, that is Dreamhouse Ikiryo, Everywhen, and then again. Okay, next I have a Zara fragrance. I haven't pulled this one out and wore it for a couple years as well. And I'm so excited to give this one some love. This is Zara MSK 004 NTL. It's Musk for, and then NTL stands for, I think, Natalie Lorson, who is the perfumer for this. And this is like a gourmand musk. So this is like a clean musk, but with like candied almonds. So warm, sweet candied almonds and a warm, sweet musk. It's light but cozy. It's perfect for going from, you know, warm summer into cooler fall. I mean, it's just perfect because it can definitely stand up in the heat, but not high heat. I would never be able to wear this like in the summer, but now that it's cooled down, it's only moderately warm, I can definitely get away with wearing this. And then going into the cooler evenings, oh my goodness, it's just gonna be phenomenal. All the perfumes that I've talked about so far perform super, super well. This one performs really well too for being such a light fragrance. For being a Zara fragrance too, this one performs very well. I can get a good 6-8 hours out of this easily. I do tend to overspray this one. Like I'll do a good 10-12 sprays or whatever, but it's such a good fragrance. And I wish, this is one of the best fragrances that Zara has ever done, in my opinion. And I really, really wish that they had not discontinued this one. This one is hard to find a bottle of now, but gosh, it's so good. If you do come across a bottle and you are a gourmand lover and you like musks too, I think you would really like this. So anyways, that is MSK 004 NTL from Zara. Okay, next I've got a Burberry fragrance. This is Burberry The Beat, and again with something hanging that bangs as I talk about the perfume. I absolutely adore this fragrance. This is the Eau de Parfum formulation, and this is a gorgeous warm tea fragrance. This is tea and cardamom and iris, so it's got a little bit of a powderiness to it. It's warm but light, but still it's a Burberry, so it's an absolute beast of a fragrance. It's got plenty of body to be a really good performing perfume. But it's, oh gosh, it's beautiful. This is another fragrance that I just do not hear spoken about very often, and I think it's such an underrated gem. I love the combination of the cardamom and the iris in this is so beautiful. It's so warm and cozy, and it's a tiny bit powdery, but you've got the freshness of, or not really freshness, but yeah, kind of a freshness from the tea. It's phenomenal. It's so good. This is one of my favorite Burberry fragrances ever. I just think it's so underrated and beautiful, and but it also has this really gorgeous kind of perfuminess to it, but again, light but warm, so perfect as a transition. Yeah, I don't know if this one has been reformulated or not. I feel like it probably has, because I think a lot of Burberry fragrances have been reformulated. This is the original formulation, and it's just perfection. I don't have very much of it left, which makes me super sad, but I'll still have it for years to come. So anyways, that is Burberry The Beat, the Eau de Parfum formulation. Okay, next I have a Juicy Couture fragrance, and this is a fragrance that I reserved specifically for this time of the year, because this is, I wouldn't say it's too heavy to be worn in the heat, but it doesn't hold up well in the heat, and it's not heavy enough for me to be like an actual cold weather fragrance. So this is a perfect transition fragrance for me, and this is Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy Noir, and this is a gorgeous berry version of Viva La Juicy. Oh gosh, it's so delicious. This is warm berries and caramel. It's sweet. It's got that perfumey Viva La Juicy DNA, but with the beautiful, yummy, bright berries in the top and then warm caramel in the base. I absolutely adore it. It is the perfect time of year for this one. This doesn't last a super long time, so I can only get maybe 4-ish hours out of this one or so, but it's totally fine. And again, perfect time of year for this one because it's a little, it doesn't hold up in the heat at all, and it's, again, a little too light for my tastes for a cold weather fragrance, but it is a perfect transition fragrance to take you from the kind of warm fall days into the, you know, cooler fall nights. I love it. Such a beautiful fragrance. I think this is the only, besides Gold, I think this is the only Viva La Juicy that I own a full bottle of. Yeah, I really love it. So anyways, that is Viva La Juicy Noir. Okay, next we have got a Lush fragrance. I love this perfume. I'll wear this one any time of the year. This one's fine in the heat, but I really love it as a transition fragrance. There's just something about it that, I don't know, it's just so cozy and comforting this time of year. This is a fragrance called American Cream, and this smells exactly like the shampoo. I think, is it a shampoo? Yeah, I think they have a shampoo and conditioner called American Cream. They may have a body lotion even. It's been a long time since I've been on the Lush website to look, but this is beautiful. This has actually got strawberry in it, which, yeah, I think this one actually has a little bit of strawberry in it. It's got a bunch of notes in this one. This one's got lavender and tonka, I think a little bit of strawberry. It's got some anise in it. It's got vanilla. It's sweet, it's warm, it's cozy. It's a little bit on the heavier side, and it's just stunning. It's lighter than all of the others. I think the only other fragrance in my collection that's a Lush fragrance that is as light as this is Pansy, and I wear that one more in the springtime. This one is definitely a perfect transition fragrance going into fall. I love it. Lush fragrances are monsters. They last forever, so you're gonna get a good 8 to 10 hours out of this, and it's just perfect for transition. So anyways, that is Lush American Cream. Okay, next we have an old favorite. This is YSL Libre, and this is just the original eau de parfum. I have the eau de toilette, which I love that one for summertime because it's light enough that it can hold up in the extreme heat. The original formulation though, it's like a perfect in between the eau de toilette and the intense or the le parfum. This one has a beautiful light, sweet freshness to it, but it's still warm and cozy and kind of syrupy, and it's phenomenal. It's a perfect transition fragrance because it's not too heavy for the heat. It's still warm and cozy and heavy enough for the chilly mornings and nights. It's perfect. It's just perfection. It's such an amazing fragrance. It's not, and it's so funny because I know since I've taken French that it's not pronounced Libre. It's called, it's just pronounced Libre, but I don't know why I don't pronounce it correctly. But anyways, this is definitely my favorite designer fragrance that has been released, I would say in the last, I don't know, I would say at least in the last 5 years. This is my favorite designer fragrance, and it's funny because they keep coming out with with more flankers of it. And thankfully, they haven't put out a miss yet, in my opinion, when it comes to Libre. Like every formulation of it is a stunner. You can't go wrong with any of them. They're just so good. And the original is just phenomenal. Especially as a transition fragrance, it is perfect, perfection. So anyways, and it's an absolute beast. Every single formulation of Libre, I need to say, lasts forever. 4 hours, days, I mean forever. So anyways, that is YSL Libre. Okay, next we've got a Guerlain fragrance, and this is a fragrance that I kind of hoard this, and I have a backup bottle, so I don't need to hoard it, but I am getting dangerously low on my original bottle, so I'm just gonna enjoy this, and then once I get into my backup bottle, I'm not gonna ration it because I'm trying to get out of the mindset of rationing perfumes. When I get to that bottle, I'll definitely start savoring it. This is Guerlain My Insolence, and I absolutely adore this. This reminds me quite a lot of French Kiss from the, I think it's the Arts and Material line. It definitely reminds me a lot of French Kiss. This is, if I remember correctly, this is like raspberry and lemon and vanilla, some kind of a floral in the middle, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's warm, it's slightly powdery. Oh, it's got some almond in it as well. A little bit of almond in it. Warm, slightly powdery, just, gosh, it's definitely one of my favorite Guerlains ever made. I really wish they hadn't discontinued this, but I've always said that I feel like they just took this formulation, tweaked it a little bit, and turned it into French Kiss, and then put it in one of the more expensive bottles, and now it's $360 a bottle instead of whatever My Insolence was when it was out. But yes, I love it. It's a perfect transition fragrance. This one, I don't love to wear this in high heat. I could wear it in high heat. It's light enough for it. But I really, really enjoy this in the kind of cooler weather, but not super cold, because this is another one that's not, it's not heavy enough to be a cold weather fragrance for me. So this is the perfect time of year, like September, October, maybe early November. Perfect months for this for me. So anyways, yeah, I love this, and it's a beast on me. I can get a good 8, 10, 12 hours out of this. It's perfection. It's a gorgeous fragrance. So anyways, that is Guerlain My Insolence. Okay, next we've got another Ralph Lauren fragrance, and this is another romance flanker. This is Ralph Lauren Beyond Romance, and this is another raspberry perfume. Oh gosh, but this is like a raspberries and cream. This is sweet, juicy raspberry and warm vanilla cream. It is so stunning. I'm not a huge fan of the original Romance. I like it. I think it's a beautiful fragrance, but it's my mother-in-law's signature, so it's not a fragrance that I would feel comfortable wearing. But I absolutely adore the flankers, especially this one and Tender Romance are my favorite. This one is gorgeous. Again, warm, but the raspberry is juicy and light. And then the, gosh, like creamy vanilla. It's very like teetering on gourmand. Really, it is gourmand. It reminds me a little bit now of House of Sillage Minnie Mouse. Really, that's what oh yeah. It definitely reminds me a little bit of House of Sillage Minnie Mouse. It's definitely different. It's not quite as gourmand as Minnie Mouse, but it's very similar. Really, it's in the same vein. Really gorgeous. Perfect transition fragrance, because again, I couldn't wear this in the cold because it wouldn't be heavy enough. I will wear this in the heat. It's fine in high heat, but it doesn't, I don't know, you just don't get the projection, I guess, in the heat. So this is perfect weather. This is a perfect transition fragrance. So anyways, that is Ralph Lauren Beyond Romance. Okay, next we have this one here. This is Franck Boclet Vanille. I wore this one just a few weeks ago. I love this. This is a beautiful, warm, delicious vanilla. Oh gosh, but it's got a ton of lime in it. This reminds me of a key lime pie. It reminds me of the filling of a key lime pie. Like vanilla and lime. It is delicious smelling. It is definitely a gourmand, but this one is light enough to be worn in the heat because it's so citrus heavy. It's so lime heavy. But then you get that warm, delicious, creamy, edible vanilla in the base. And this one is pretty linear. So you get the vanilla lime throughout the entire wear. It smells pretty much the same at the end or in the dry down as it does when you first spray it on. So it's perfection. It's a perfect transition fragrance. This can be worn any time of year. It holds up in the heat just fine, but I feel like it performs just a little bit better as it starts to cool down. Again, not heavy enough for me to wear in the winter, so this is the perfect time of year for this one. So anyways, that is Franck Boclet Vanille. Okay, next I've got another Guerlain fragrance. This is Guerlain Shalimar Souffle. I adore this perfume. Now I will wear this one in cold weather too in the winter time. It is heavy enough for the winter for me. Ooh, I love this one as a transition fragrance. I need to test this against Jacques from Tion Reinthal that Claire sent over because they're similar. Jacques I feel like is a little bit lighter, maybe even a little bit more wearable than Souffle. Souffle is gorgeous. Souffle definitely has more of the Shalimar, like the original Shalimar DNA than a lot of the other flankers do. This one just has a really beautiful, kind of slightly creamy lemon in the top and a lot of vanilla, but it's still very much Shalimar. Oof, I love it. It smells amazing. I think though, if you're somebody that really doesn't like the way Shalimar smells, this is probably not the one. I would probably stick to one of the other flankers like Cologne or Eau de Shalimar or Parfum Initial. One of those are gonna be way more wearable even than Souffle, but gosh, I adore Souffle. It's gorgeous, and this is perfect. I usually wear this starting in early fall because it's just a perfect fall fragrance. So anyways, and this one lasts forever. This is like any other. I mean, I have really good luck with Guerlain fragrances aside from Aqua Allegorias. Don't perform great on me, but every other Guerlain fragrance that I've got in my collection is just perfection, performs amazingly well. You'll get a good 8, 10, 12 hours out of this. It's so good. So anyways, that is Shalimar Souffle. This is just the Eau de Parfum. I used to have the Intense, but they're so similar. And I think I enjoy the original a little bit more than the Intense, so I went ahead and I eventually just decluttered the Intense. Okay, and then last but not least, this is a perfect transition fragrance. This is Fresh, and this is Brown Sugar. Fresh is like a skincare brand mostly, but they do fragrances as well. This is a fragrance that I have loved for a very long time. I would go into Sephora and I would spray this on like every time I went into Sephora, but back then, this is like the early 2000s, it was just way out of my price range, and I finally picked up this bottle. This is a bottle of the original formulation that I found secondhand, and I absolutely love this. This is probably a very old bottle. Like, this is probably, gosh, I don't even know, but it still smells incredible. It hasn't gone off even a bit. Perfect transition fragrance. This is a buttery, creamy, sweet, cozy lemon. This one you can wear any time of the year. It does great in high heat. If you're looking for a really cozy perfume that does really well in high heat, this is it. But I love this in the fall because this is perfect for the really hot days that we still have, but it's cozy enough to take me into like the cooler nights. It's perfect. Oh gosh, I love it. If you love a sugary lemon, I think you would love this. Like a sugary, buttery lemon. It's amazing. It's a beast on me too. I don't know what the new formulation is like or how it performs, but the original formulation, I can get a good 8, 10 hours out of this easily. So anyways, that is Fresh Brown Sugar, such a stunner. And that is gonna be it, guys. Those are 12 more transition fragrances that I am super excited to wear now that it is going into fall. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.